Microphone unmuted.
All right, guys, I'm gonna just do a real quick video. I'm not even gonna probably play with y'all right now. But if I could make like some more changes to Street Fighter 6, I would definitely I think it was called V reversal. It's similar to like an advanced guard, only it's kind of like more like an attack than a push away. Like in Marvel, they call it advanced guard, where you kind of push your opponent off of you. In Street Fighter 5, it was done with, I think it was done with forward 3 punch button or forward 3 kick button. I thought, believe it or not, at first I was like, man, I really don't like that, because like I'm trying to do the special move and it just does not come out. But in all honesty, I completely understand why the developers even added it in Street Fighter 5. I thought, in all honesty, that fixed a lot of issues with Street Fighter 5, dealing with real strong characters like Ryu, Ken, that have extremely good invincible reversals. Guile, for example. I felt like the only drawback to that was that Guile's V reversal should have been like up kick instead. You get what I'm saying? Like, or change the flash kick motion to down forward kick. You get what I'm saying? I guess some people struggle with that, so they have the charge characters instead. But I felt like Guile didn't have to abide by the same rules that, like, let's say for example, like Alex's character had to. Like, everyone knows that at least in Street Fighter 5, that Alex's character, the back forward 2 kick button, the shoulder tackle, it kind of looks similar to Urian's shoulder tackle a little bit, where he kind of slides across horizontally. In Third Strike, that move did not have any projectile invincibility, or even as far as I know, I think it didn't even have normal attack invincibility. It was like terrible in Third Strike. But in Street Fighter 5, when they added that invincibility to it, it really made a huge difference for the character. But the problem was that, I mean, not the problem, but his the point I'm trying to make is that his V reversal was like forward 3 kick. So in other words, if your opponent was pressuring you with like crouching light kick, crouching jab, and you tried to do the back forward the invincible reversal with Alex's character, it was not that good of an invincible reversal, the back forward kick button. His invincible reversal was always the dragon punch with 2 kick button. Forward, down, forward, forward, down, forward, 2 kick button. That was always Alex's like best invincible reversal. Even though in Third Strike you could air parry it, even though it was an air grab for whatever reason. Even though Hugo's air grab was not able to be parried, which is one of the reasons why I think he's one of the better characters in Third Strike, is because you can't really jump in the air with him. And since you can't jump in the air with him, and his like crouching jab, standing jab is like lightning fast and has a lot of range, it was kind of hard to, engage the character, and he had a lot of health. And like in the right hands, he was very, dangerous, in my opinion, I felt like. And in Third Strike, there was also no backdash invincibility for throws. Whereas in Street Fighter, ever since Street Fighter 4, there has been a backdash invincibility. So like when you backdash away from your opponent and they try to grab you with a regular grab or a command grab, it'll completely miss. But especially if it's a command grab, you'll have enough time to like counter them with like a standing hard punch. It's outrageous. Even in the corner, like if Zangief's at point blank range and tries to command grab you and you backdash in the corner, he'll still miss, even with the running bear grab. Even Blanca's command grab, all of them, like basically all of them. But the point I'm trying to make is that I think that was a good addition to Street Fighter overall. And now in Street Fighter 6, they changed it. I believe it's like you have to hold parry button and then press forward.
I'm a little confused as to I have extreme difficulty getting that the new motion for a special move input for that to come out. Like when I'm trying to do the parry, like when your opponent's pressuring you and you want them to get off of you, there's that I think it was called V reversal in Street Fighter 5. I don't know exactly what it's called. I think it's called drive reversal now. And that's another thing about Capcom that I kind of disagree with, is that the terminology should stay the same. So there's like a continuity throughout all the games, like so that your longtime fans don't feel like you completely abandon them. Like, for example, when you do back hard kick normally, first introduced in Street Fighter 3 with Akuma, is his the second hit of his back his close back standing hard kick. I don't know if it had to be close, but he had a back hard kick where the second hit was an overhead. And you know, I try to do it in Street Fighter 6. I'm like, all right, let me play Akuma. I know how to do his overhead, his back hard kick. And then I try to do it, and it no longer is the motion for that move anymore. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, even if someone was looking at your joystick or looking at your controller and even thought you were trying to do back hard kick, by the time they tell the opponent, tell their friend, for whatever reason, I don't even know why tournaments allow there to be a second guy on stage with them trying to, you know, help them out during the match, is insane to me, because that only is going to allow people to kind of cheat and look at a guy's joystick and go, oh, he's trying to do Dragon Punch. Don't, like, tap your shoulder now. And, like, now, you know that he's trying to do something, so let me just stop altogether. Like, that's a huge disadvantage to the player that, like, practices all year long, you know? But, yeah, I would make a change to that. I would also make a change to the parry being, instead of down back, I would just make it down for low attacks, because that's what it was when parry was first introduced in Street Fighter. In Third Strike, in Street Fighter 3, even though I thought Third Strike parrying was way better because it was easier to counter your opponent. Like, for whatever reason, in the original versions of Street Fighter 3, like when you air parry or just parry on the ground, like you get pushed away from your opponent, and it kind of makes it harder for you to counter them, even if you do parry them, which is like, you know, I love the way they perfected it in Third Strike. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for all the longtime Street Fighter fans that, like, you know, were grinding even back in the, you know, in that era, you know, I think we're all so accustomed to the low parry being down and the high parry being forward. And in all honesty, I think it should stay that way. Instead of, like, parry with back and parry with down back for a low attack, it should just be parry forward, parry button, like the way you parry, but with forward instead and down. Because, like, right there, I'm already in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, it's just like Third Strike. I'm very familiar with Third Strike. It's my favorite Street Fighter of all time. In fact, I still think it's the best Street Fighter of all time. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the game has added a lot of things that, like, really have made the game better. You know, like for example, this is a prime example of that. Like crouching light kick, crouching jab, hard punch, uppercut. To do that in Third Strike took a lot of, I wouldn't necessarily say talent, but the timing had to be perfect. For you to do crouching light kick, crouching jab, like, you know, look at that. I did crouching light kick, crouching jab. I just tried to do the Dragon Punch motion. I got the super motion instead. In a real match, at a high level match, if I try to do just light punch, Dragon Punch, and I get super level 3 super instead, I'm still happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm very still happy about that. You know, it's so much easier to do those, like, those kind of, like, whereas in the past, to do combos like that actually was very difficult, especially online. So there's a lot of areas that Street Fighter and fighting games have evolved and, like, gotten way easier and more accessible for, like, fans that normally may have struggled in the past to do Dragon Punch and stuff like that. I feel like the game really recognizes when you activate that special move. And I do think the game has gotten better since the original, like earlier on in the life cycle of Street Fighter as a game in general, which I do like. But that's one. Those are a few things that I think would make the game better as well. You know what I'm saying? Like characters like, for example, like Guile and DJ. DJ wasn't in Street Fighter 5, but any character that had like a down up invincible reversal, like for example Blanca or Guile, with the kick button, the charge motion down up. The problem I had with that was that the V reversal, that's what it was called in Street Fighter 5, it really did not apply to Guile or Blanca or any other character that had a motion like that. And it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of unfair, because while you're trying to pressure your opponent with, like, let's say standing jab, and like he just flash kicks you in between the second jab. And it's like you're trying to build some sort of offense and take the initiative and be the first player to engage the opponent offensively. And then he just sits there like a turtle, like a hermit, and does absolutely nothing, and then tries to counter. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And you understand what I mean? Like that's another change that I would make if I was one of the developers. I would make that change as well. You know what I'm saying? I would make it so that Guile and any other character that has a charge down up motion that is their invincible reversal, I would make it so that it does apply to them. I would make it so that their V reversal is a down up motion instead of a back forward motion. That way they have to commit to throwing it out there. And if they're doing it at a time where normally it's considered a block string, which is why I think the real reason they added it in Street Fighter 5 in the first place was to stop players from trying to use metered, Dragon Punch with meter, like Ryu, for example. And it would stop them from doing that. Because if they tried to do that, the V reversal would come out instead. Or even Laura, for example, her invincible reversal, if I'm not mistaken, was the down forward 2-punch elbow, right? That was anti-projectile as well, even though, I thought she had maybe one too many invincible reversal, anti-projectile moves. You know what I'm saying? Like her back, half circle back 2 kick was invincible, projectile invincibility, and had a lot of range. But it was not normal attack invincible. But her down forward 2-punch also, if I'm not mistaken, had 2 projectile invincibility, which, I kind of understand. I felt like the character didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the character did need it. I feel like every command grab character should have to combo their command grab. I don't mind that they have a command grab. I feel like that takes away from, backdash kind of shuts that down anyway, but I don't even think you should have to backdash at all. I think a player should be good enough to land their combos. Like, for example, I would make the special move motion for Zangief, I would make it way easier for him. Instead of it being normally it's a 360 motion with punch or kick, or a 720 motion, I would just make it down forward punch. And like I've said in the past, like, I would make all the special moves in the direction towards the opponent, whether it like is down forward punch or down forward kick. Anything that is similar to that. You know what I'm saying? The reason I say that is because, let's say, for example, Guile. He could hold back and still be blocking, but he also still has access to his drive Sonic Boom. And that's another thing I don't really like about the changes of Guile, is that he says perfect instead of Sonic Boom. And I think it's insulting to all the longtime fans that have supported you guys. we don't want to hear him say perfect. We like hearing him say Sonic Boom. That's way cooler anyway, in my opinion. So that's what he originally always did and always said. So, you know, as a longtime fan, I'm kind of disappointed that they changed that. You know, Sonic Boom and like, you know, by definition just kind of means that they're breaking the sound barrier. So it sounds way cooler that this, like, the character Guile, like, flings his arm so fast that he's basically kind of breaking the sound barrier and throwing a projectile at you, like, by kind of breaking the sound barrier. And that sounds way cooler, in my opinion. You know, I know that's being very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? That's being kind of overly, you know, critical, I guess. But like, as a longtime fan, like, I don't agree with that change. I don't know who decided to make that change. If it was my company, I probably would have fired him just for that. I would have probably, you know, terminated his employment at Capcom if it was my company, I'm saying. Obviously it's not, but just for even suggesting something like that to an iconic franchise like Street Fighter is, in my opinion, you know, grounds for termination if it was my company. I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, if it was my company, even for him just suggesting that we change it to perfect, I would have terminated his job right on the spot. If it was my company, I would have said, no, it's going to stay the way it was because there's nothing wrong with it. Right there, I said, you're lucky you still got a job. I would have told him right there, you're lucky you still got a job right now. For even bringing up that suggestion. I don't have time to play. But yeah, that's my only, those are some other changes that I would make if I could. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like all the longtime Street Fighter fans that have supported you, you know, ever since the past, we're very, you know, the muscle memory has already kind of been established in our DNA structure already. And it's unfortunate that, like, when I try to do back hard kick with Akuma, what normally would be his close standing back hard kick, it doesn't come out anymore. They changed the motion for it. And then I try to do like forward medium punch, and I think that doesn't even do the overhead anymore. And I'm like, okay, those are the only two overheads I know that he has besides jumping attacks or what's it called? The demon flip. Those are all overheads as well, but I don't truly consider them overheads because they're so obvious and so telegraphed that it's kind of hard to justify me saying, oh, it's an overhead. I mean, it is an overhead, but like, you would have to be like pretty bad at the game to get hit by it, in my opinion. Like, it must be your first day. Because like, all longtime fans see Akuma do demon flip and we're like, anti-air. Like, don't let him get there because he's not safe yet. Like, he might be safe on block with the dive kick, demon flip dive kick, and the demon flip projectile. And well, he doesn't have the air grab anymore. Thank God. It only worked on standing opponents. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong about that. No, wait. I think it only did work on standing opponents, except for whatever reason, the bigger characters in the game in Third Strike, like Q, Hugo, Alex. I believe those are the only characters that the air grab still worked on them. I'm calling it an air grab. He had a demon flip grab. And if you were standing, it would work on you. I thought it worked on even crouching opponents. I could be wrong about that, but I felt like it was a lot harder to do on a crouching opponent. And yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Like I said, obviously I have no control over what they actually do. I was just trying to kind of help the developers out. I feel like, you know, that's an unnecessary change. Ryu also had the back hard kick. I don't think his second hit was overhead, was it? I know Akuma had his second hit of close backstanding hard kick was an overhead. When he did back hard kick, I don't think he had to be close. It wasn't. I don't think it was a proximity normal, but But I do think I thought you could do it at any time, to be honest. And for whatever reason, I completely disagree with, even though I was using it ever since Street Fighter V. Ryu's backstanding hard kick works amazingly well as an anti-air, and I completely disagree with that. I was doing that to opponents on Street Fighter V, and if it like counter hit the opponent, I think you could also get an uppercut after it, which is ridiculous. That's like where I draw the line. I'm like, okay, now it's going too far, and it's a little too hectic now. Like Ryu's a little bit too good to be able to do standing back hard kick, backstanding hard kick against a jumping opponent. You have the audacity as a company to look me in the eye and say that that's acceptable? And then you probably run around flagging my videos because I'm telling you the goddamn truth? That I completely disagree with that? And I find it completely unacceptable for him to be able to do that in a match? You know, just like I find it completely unacceptable for Kimberly to do crouching fierce on you as an anti-air, and if it counter hits, I believe she could do an instant drive meter air grab, which will ground bounce you and put you in a unblockable situation off of a crouching fierce. If that's not absurd, I don't know what is. That's completely absurd. I will not stand for it. And I will voice my constitutional right of freedom of speech. And, you know, may God forgive me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm just stating my opinion and what I love and you know, and what I agree with or disagree with as a longtime fan. And Street Fighter, like I said, like when I stopped, like, you know, I always loved Mortal Kombat and Tekken, and I still do. But Street Fighter started it all for me, you know what I'm saying? So, and when I wasn't playing any other fighting game, Street Fighter was still the game I was playing. And this was before I found out that people were actually playing for money. So I was just doing it out of love because I thought the game was funny, you know, and I thought the game, like, the artists were very talented, and their ability to draw was amazing. And I felt like every character kind of felt very unique and independent from all the rest. Like Hugo, his moveset was completely different than Ryu, even though Ryu and Ken are very similar. You know, I feel like those are the only two characters that I would accept for them to be similar. But it's like, Dan, okay, like, all right, I might let it slide with Dan because he's funny. But it's like, Luke, really? Another one? Like, can you hire some, like, another artist at you know, at Capcom or something? Or like you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's too many copycat characters. Like Luke, in my opinion, they should just combine Luke's moveset with Ken, because I feel like that would truly differentiate Ken and Ryu a little bit more. I love I love Luke's level 3 super. I feel like it fits Ken's style way more. And I feel like that's kind of more Ken's personality style. Is that, like, he'll hit you when you're down and not looking, like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, Ryu is kind of like, he's a little bit more honorable. And, like, he'd rather fight you fair and, like, come on, let's do this. Just say when. Let's go. Come on. You know what I mean? And you can respect the man for doing it that way, you know? But it's like, you can't really respect the man for waiting for you to, like, be unaware and, like, oh, like, I waited for him to be on the ground, you know? It's like, you know, but, like, in a way, it kind of makes the personalities stand out more, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if Ken had Luke's fireball, I think that would make all the difference. You know what I'm saying? Either that or, like, I don't know how else to explain it, but, like, Ken's fireball, in my opinion, it's unacceptable that, like, full screen, right? If I know Ryu's about to throw a regular projectile and full screen, I do an enhanced projectile, and that goes for any other character in the game that has like a projectile that I feel like just does not get there in time. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryu's Denjin Hadouken is a prime example of what I feel every character who has a projectile, their metered projectile should be that lightning fast. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like instead of knocking the opponent in a hard knockdown, I feel like the difference between Ken and Ryu should be Ken's projectile leaves you standing because it is a projectile, but it's not as powerful as Ryu's projectile, who truly mastered the power of the Hadou or the Hado or whatever, right? So like it makes sense that he can still do it, but he's not as good as Ryu. So like I feel like that would make a big difference in Ryu's gameplay as well. Like when he does a hard knockdown, like let's say for example, Ryu's losing a match and he does crouching medium kick into fireball, it does a hard knockdown. You know what I'm saying? If he does crouching medium kick into enhanced meter, I would leave them standing. The reason I say that is because like I feel like Ryu needs that. I feel like Ryu needs to be able to kind of pressure you up close. Because I feel like with Ryu, it's kind of hard because you've been kind of seeing him do the same thing for so long that it's kind of hard to, you know, break your opponent's defense a little bit. I feel like that's his biggest weakness besides, like, his zoning is very good, but, like, when he gets up close, his overhead, you know, you see it kind of coming from a mile away, except for when you play online, but, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but those are just a few examples. Like, I'll be in a projectile battle with my opponent, and I'll be like, okay, I know for a fact he's doing a regular projectile. Let me do Ken's enhanced meter projectile, and, like, unless I'm, like, here, which I wouldn't even recommend throwing, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, unless I'm, like, slightly away from the wall, it's not going to get there in time. Like, I literally have to be, like, around almost where they can jump kick me range. And, like, that's the only way I could beat it. And, like, I feel like it doesn't even do enough damage. Like, if I counter hit my opponent with a drive meter projectile, it should do way more damage. At least for Ken, goddamn. I mean, his projectile's straight whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? He's still standing after that. Like, all the difference, all you would have to do instead of allowing your opponent to stand after the drive meter, at least let him get, like, cross-up pressure after that. Let him get a hard knockdown, man. You know what I'm saying? Let him do crouching medium kick fireball or standing medium punch EX fireball, and then it does a hard knockdown, and then they kind of have to deal with Ken's pressure now. If he wants, he could go for, you know, the drive meter projectile. You know what I'm saying? He could maybe do a charge projectile where, you know, he holds it for a second on an opponent's hard knockdown, and then he kind of does like a little floater. If you don't know what I mean by that, it's like the set play characters like Guile and Chun-Li, and I feel maybe even Terry have that a little bit, where it's like their projectile, their regular projectile is kind of made so that you could kind of walk behind it, and like now you could pressure your opponent with it. Like, as the projectile's there, now like they can't really do much about it at that point. So like now you could probably throw a normal attack out, a frame trap normal attack with Chun-Li. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Ken should have like a charge variation of his projectile where it's like, let's say he does get a hard knockdown. Like, if they did change it, if I could, I would change it so that like Ken could do crouching medium kick, drive meter fireball projectile, and then like on the hard knockdown, I have enough time to do down forward like light punch, medium punch, or hard punch and charge it. And then he lets go like a floater that kind of has to be respected, even if they do super. They can't just super through it. Like, this is a freight train coming through, and there's nothing they can do about it. They have to block that, and like Ken gets pressure, high, low pressure after that. But he earned it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's just kind of exploiting the same move over and over again. Obviously, if he wins the situation again, guess what? He could do it again. That's what I felt like Street Fighter always was. I feel like Street Fighter always was exploiting your opponent's defense, even if that meant being cheesy as hell and doing the same thing over and over again. If it was working, it was working, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it and just keep doing it. I felt like that was always part of Street Fighter's agenda and game plan. You know what I'm saying? You saw I was streaming yesterday. I was trying to parry E Honda's booty drop, and you know I kept missing, and like he just kept going on and on and on and on. And you know, unless you parry it perfectly, like you can't really do nothing about it. Unless you get a good parry on it, you can't really do nothing about it. Because it's safe on block. You could counter it before he does it. You know, before he fully gets to the apex of his jump. You know, but I feel like it's even active before that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like at a certain point at the booty drops animation when he leaves the ground, it should not be an anti-air, because I feel like his headbutt back forward special move is already such a good anti-air, especially the light punch variation. That should be the only one you're really doing as an anti-air, unless you know for a fact. I wouldn't recommend trying to chase as an E Honda player, like an opponent that tries to jump back on you. The reason I say that is more likely than not, you're going to get counter hit. And if they counter hit you when you're doing that, it's going to lead to a full combo. And if they have a level 3, that's like already half your health bar. But if you strictly as an E Honda player only use the light punch variation of his headbutt anti-air, the back forward light punch, charged back forward light punch, it works. Not only does it work better, but you don't really have to worry about them. This only works if they're in front of you. If they cross you up, don't even bother trying to do anything anymore. You got to play defense now. There's really nothing E Honda could do about that. And that always was one of his biggest weakness. And I felt like almost all charge characters' biggest weakness was that once you cross them up, except for like Guile and DJ, and I don't know if Chun-Li is still charge character primarily. I think they kind of made her a little bit of both. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna end the video there. I don't want to make the video too long, but yeah, there's a lot of changes that I feel like, in my personal opinion, if I had to choose, I love the guy who designed Ken for Street Fighter V more than I like the guy who designed Ken for Street Fighter 6. If I could only choose one, I would definitely choose the Street Fighter V variation of Ken. I felt like they completely nailed it. Him having the hard kick, spin kick that goes over projectiles, the rainbow spin kick, that kind of has like a curved rainbow travel. It kind of, you know, curves towards their opponent horizontally and vertically. You know, I felt like that was amazing. I felt like Ken really needed that. I love the changes that they did after you activate you know, the V trigger. That was amazing how, you know, he was able to like do like the bigger red fireball all of a sudden, and like he could really combo that into like spin kick and uppercut after that, and like he you know, he could just throw it out there, run pressure you after that. Like I felt like that's exactly what Ken should be able to do on a regular basis. Because I feel like without that, Ken is kind of mediocre. No offense, like when Ken was doing way more damage, you know, no offense to what was the player's name that won Evolution Tournament with Ken, the first tournament. I do believe Ken has what it takes to win. I just don't feel he's as good as some of the better characters like Luke, Akuma, and Ryu. And I feel like ultimately, although he can win, he has a lot of bad matchups. Like, for example, JP and Akuma and Ryu, who could completely zone him and make it very difficult for him, where I feel like he has to rely on doing like, you know, the enhanced version of his down back 2 kick in the air towards the opponent, because it makes him fall faster than normal from a normal jumping attack. It actually makes him fall way faster. So like if you jump over a projectile and you do it, you're actually gonna either counter hit your opponent or even if they block it, you're still safe on block. So it's like a low risk, high reward move to utilize, even against a really good Guile player. It could even counter hit a real good zoning character like Guile that recovers extremely fast from his projectile. With Ken being able to do that, you'll either be able to be safe on block or get a full combo. And after that, I believe he can get 3 standing punches or 2. No, it's 2. It's 2. But I know it's 2, bro. But the best part about that is even if you land that and you have a level 3, like it's hold on, I keep messing up. Look at that. That's full animation. That's full animation off of a projectile counter. Jumping over a projectile, counter hitting your opponent, which you know for a fact that at some point in the matchup, a Guile player is going to get cocky and arrogant. Ryu and Akuma player are going to get, a Luke player is going to get cocky and arrogant, you know, and throw one of those out there. And the best part about it, it also crosses up. And it's kind of hard to tell where it's going to actually hit sometimes. Like, and it's like guaranteed that you're going to land, like, at the very least, a hard punch uppercut after it. So, like, if you guys don't know, that does a lot of damage on counter hit, especially you're getting way more damage. So, like I said, those are the kind of tools that I feel like I never see too many Ken players using that in a projectile battle. But guess what? Against some of the better zoners in the game, I've won matches and I've won sets using that move against my opponent. And it was really primarily because of that. And drive impact range, you know what I'm saying? See, right there, he wasn't even, my opponent, the computer wasn't even blocking. I did this, and he's getting pushed away. I don't even understand that. Okay, I don't know why he's getting pushed away instead of getting a full combo. Look at that, he's not even... I feel like they should get stuck to the wall way longer, by the way. When you wall splat your opponent and hit them into the wall, that's another change I would make. I would at least make it like another half second. I would at least wall splat them for another half second. That you know, graphically and gameplay wise, like, people are gonna see that and go, wow, he really must have hit him hard if he's glued to the wall right now. The same thing I feel like in Tekken, when you counter hit your opponent, I would make I would leave them standing on counter hit a lot longer. And if they like wall splat, for example, I would leave them. In fact, another change I'll make, I think I said in the past, but in the Guilty Gear fighting game, when you counter hit your opponent, it makes it very obvious. It's like so blatantly obvious, and it says counter. It just says it out loud. I feel like Street Fighter needs that. I feel like King of Fighters needs that. I feel like Fatal Fury needs that. I feel like Samurai Showdown needs that. I feel like Tekken needs that. I feel like Mortal Kombat could use that as well. If I was a developer, I would definitely add that into the game. No doubt about it. I would add the counter sound effect. So like when you counter hit your opponent, you don't have to rely on like a specific hitting a sound. It actually tells you counter. You know, you counter hit your opponent, counter. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna understand right there. Oh damn, I got time to really do the next thing. Like, let me do it. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another big change I would do to the fighting games that do not have it right now. And believe it or not, I love what Mortal Kombat 11 did with the counter hit, with the freeze frame. I'm assuming it's called the freeze frame. Like, for example, if you counter hit your opponent with down hard punch, heavy punch, it would kind of just show a still image for a few seconds. I think it was like 1 second or like something like that, where like you just see your opponent getting jawed, man. Like, it looked like Scorpion just uppercut the hell out of his ass, like, and it was beautiful. Like, as a longtime player, when they added that, I was like, yes, like, this is exactly what I always wanted them to do. Like, when you did forward 3-4 with Scorpion and it counter hit, and you saw him kicking him in the solar plexus, and it looked like his ribs just completely shattered. I loved it. It was beautiful. It really allowed a player on offense to go, okay, it's my time to capitalize on big damage right now. And they made it so simple and easy to understand. And I feel like all these other fighting games can really benefit from using that freeze frame as well. And I know it takes a lot of time and a lot of talent and a lot of money to make that a reality. But like, I would really appreciate it as a longtime fan to see it in all the other fighting games as well that I love and play. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound like a hater. You know, you might catch me in the heat of the moment, and I might sound like a sore loser, and I might start, you know, even using foul language or whatever it is, and I'm losing to a Ryu player that grabbed me 10 times in one round, when I know with all my heart and soul that if I was playing him offline, that would have never happened at all. But because we're playing online, he double perfects me, and in his heart, you know, he thinks he's the greatest Ryu player of all time. But I know for a fact that I'm like, I can't believe, in my head, I'm like, I can't believe I just lost to that. There's no way in hell if I was playing this guy in person that I would ever lose to that. I'm not saying he can't grab me. I'm saying he couldn't do 22 grabs in one match and double perfect me in real life. So don't get too excited because I'm only seeing 40% of the information that I'm supposed to be seeing, and I'm using very mid or low tier characters, whereas you're picking super S tier, high tier Ryu that has a lightning fast projectile that is almost impossible to see online, especially on a white background, which I always play on. So I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna end the video there. But I will be playing soon. I might play like maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure. But if I do decide to stream and play with you guys, I'll let you guys know. I am craving playing like fighting games way more. That's why I like to take a step away from it sometimes and not oversaturate it, because I feel like, you know, unless I'm like gonna go to a tournament or something like that, you kind of have to oversaturate it. But like right now, like I just kind of want to, you know, I'm trying to like, you know, I just want to take a step away from it. But you know, it's a part of me, and I feel like it's always gonna be a part of me, and I'm always gonna have love for it. You know, I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the developers understand where I'm coming from, and you know, I understand it's their business and their decision, and there's nothing I can do about that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But as a longtime fan, I'm just stating my opinion about it, and I feel like I have the constitutional right to do so. I mean, we're just talking about games here, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not like insulting the guy like in real life. I'm just, you know, like I'm not even trying to insult him. I'm just stating my opinion of what I feel like. Damn, when I do back hard kick with Akuma, and like, for example, like, you know, like even standing hard kick with Ken, you should be able to drive impact that. You should be able to do a drive impact like during the animation, like if it lands on the opponent. You know what I'm saying? Even on the sweep, even on crouching sweep. You know, no, actually that would be going too far, but crouching sweep should automatically like give you a free combo. Like that should be one of those freeze frame moments. Like if I hard roundhouse my opponent and sweep them, that should be a freeze frame moment, and I should get a free combo after that. They wake up stunned. They hit the ground, they hit their head or something, and then they wake up with the seeing the birdies. And that's another thing. Whatever happened to that in Street Fighter? Like towards the end of the match, if someone stunned you, you would start seeing the Grim Reaper instead of the birdies or the stars. Like it would give you like this little Looney Tunes animation on top of their head where they were like, woo, woo. You know, like it was like they kind of got like knocked the hell out and they're completely oblivious to what's going on right now. And it was like one of the best parts of the game, and suddenly it's not even in the game anymore. Just like Sub-Zero doing the ice freeze on his opponent and making him slip on ice and being funny as hell. That's not in the game either. And I'm like, why? Like, if it takes a lot of time and money to make that a reality, do it. That's part of what sells the game, man. Putting ice on the ground and have your opponent look silly slipping on ice is funny as hell. You keep that in the game forever. When it comes to Mortal Kombat, that's a brilliant projectile special move. Samurai Showdown, the Earthquake Flatulence special move. You keep that in the game forever. That's one of the big selling points. You never get rid of that. Even if you got to delay the game another 3 months, you keep that move in the goddamn game. I mean, what more do I got to say about it? I mean, goddamn. All right, I'm done, guys. I'm done. I hope you enjoyed the video, but